Hello, this is another Cruising Starbird segment, and you might be able to see Starbird way out in the middle of Waiatt Bay at the north end of Quadra Island on the Discovery Islands of the BC coast. We're way out because that's where the sun lasts longest, both morning and afternoon. We're in mid-October, and it is just not cooperating sun-wise. Pea soup fog this morning, and then a couple of hours of sun early in the afternoon. We decided to come mushroom picking, and so the clouds, and looks like it's going to try and rain again. Here's our Livingston with the electric trolling motor that I'm still testing out. And Mrs. Starbird came across on her own because she takes longer to do her mushroom thing. I have limited interest in tromping through the dark forest, but she came across on her little kayak, and she's up in the woods now collecting. I'm just going to show you a little bit of this trailhead. We're on the north side of Waiatt Bay, and there was not a community, I wouldn't say, but there was an encampment here in years past. There was forestry on the island, and there was also fishing, obviously, but there are some remnants of activity here. Some really cool mushrooms here. Mrs. Starbird will not be eating these guys. Don't know what they are really. I'm not the expert, but she's on the lookout for chanterelles today. Here's some more interesting ones right here. But I'm just going to show you this old cabin that's weathering away year by year. Gets a little rougher. I don't think I'd want to spend much time in it, but I suppose if you got stuck here in really bad weather, it's better than being out in the elements. Lord knows when it was last in use, but we've been coming for 10 years and never seen anybody using it, repairing it. There's an old single-cylinder iron lung here. I'm not sure when the last time it ran, but I'm betting it was decades ago. Some old tin cans and old bricks. Relatively new beer can up above this window, but anyway, that's not the only one right here at this little landing. It's not an official trail. Not even sure if we're still in the provincial marine park. Oh, here's a nice black slug heading for these little mushrooms. A red one here that got kicked up, but there. All kinds of different styles of fungus, mushrooms, toadstools. I can't tell them apart, but from years past we know that there are chanterelles in the forest here. And Mrs. Starbird is up attacking the forest looking for edible mushrooms. This, not sure what it was originally. It sort of looks like a truck camper of decades past, but might just have been a homemade tin shelter, but it is no longer usable, obviously. And there's one more structure here. Every year it goes a little bit more back to nature. But when we first came 10 years ago, it was not quite as rustic. But it is an old trailer. And I think we'll leave it at that. It is not my retirement home, that's for sure. But the roof is certainly turning into a moss fest. So if we can get around, look at it better. Anyway, so a trailer, some kind of a structure, and then a cabin. Not in use, as I say. This land, I'm not sure if we're still in the small inlet provincial marine park. I know this is not part of the Octopus Islands Marine Park, which is off Waiatt Bay, close by. So it could be Crown land, could be privately owned, but there was logging above us. And here's some little fungusy things that are not on the menu today. They're not edible. But there's probably 20 or 25 different kinds of fungi growing in this forest right now. So as I said, there was logging, and perhaps the structures here had something to do with that. We had a very dry summer, and so this stream bed is not really active. Normally you had to climb across some of these logs, but they've collapsed over the years. But this stream has got a very low flow and lots of moss growing on the rocks, so it's not an active watershed, really. Anyway, this trail carries on a little bit, and there's some more fungus here. So this is a little spur, and then very quickly we will come to a cross, and Mrs. Starbird is keen on chanterelles and lobster mushrooms. No lobster, from past experience, no lobster here, but lots of chanterelles normally. So she's up the trail, and we'll see if we find her. If not, once we get back to the boat, she'll unload her haul. Hopefully it was worth her effort. Again, it's a bit of an odd year. It was so dry right from May till the end of September, virtually no rain. Anyway, here's the intersection, and this is what may have been a flume or just a passageway up to a bit of a network of abandoned logging roads, about a half mile, just under a kilometer up, you come to a logging road which hasn't been used in decades. There's a Starbird up there, and I'm going to head back to the dinghy and cruise around a bit, continue testing out the electric trolling motor, and we'll check back when she gets back to the boat. So here are the results of Mrs. Starbird's chanterelle hunt today at Waiatt Bay on Quadra Island. As you can see, pretty good. Less than an hour's work, and here they are just starting to dry. They have to get dried and cleaned and then cooked, either for fresh, or some of them even get put in the freezer for later use. Anyway, she's happy with the haul. She might have been out a little longer, but it started raining, and she paddled back to Starbird with this amount of chanterelles.